So game development time is taking the longest it's ever taken. It's taking like 5 to 6 years now or more to get a game done from start to finish. And even then it's not done because it still has bugs, which I think is just insane.
Well, I mean, you coming from a software development background of many, many years, you would be surprised at how much shit can go wrong.
Fair, but I think
they're doing it wrong.
A lot of game releases and stuff, by the time they're done and released, the idea is outdated right from the jump, and it doesn't do well.
So here's the thing. You have to... So I come from the world of... How are we going to say? Working software.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily working software, but not games. Functional software, things that are meant to support business practices, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So games are a little bit different in that, we all use the same languages, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Games have typically wanted to get to a finished state before they release, which is markedly different from the other stuff where we're deliver early, deliver often.
Yeah.
So it's as soon as this is functioning, ship it. And then continue shipping it every 2 fucking weeks until it's finished. And I think if games, now that they have the internet connectivity to the consoles and shit like that,
mm-hmm.
if they adopted that kind of agile practice, then you would see some differences. Because it would be okay, it's going to take us 6 months to get to our first, release cut.
Yeah.
And then you can just build on that, and it's if you structure it right, maybe people play it and they can only play to a certain part, and then they got to wait until that 2-week release. And
so the thing that they're running into is by the time they get released, they are just outdated ideas and no one has any interest in it.
That's because they blow it up at the front, and then.
But another thing too is with Cyberpunk and stuff like that, they have these bugs that are so bad that it puts the game in an unplayable state. And by the time you get it fixed, people are already especially now with how many games release. So they release so often, it's just dead.
So here's
it's
the
just
deal.
Dead immediately. If there's a problem where it's it keeps me from playing the game, and I'm well, I guess I'll wait for that. I'm not waiting because I move on to the next game and I get sucked into that. And by the time they're hey, we fixed it, it's just no, okay,
well, it's a highly competitive.
I'm already over here now, so
it's a highly competitive environment. You kind of get one shot. It's that. It's the song. You get one shot, do not
Eminem.
miss a chance.
Yeah. You get one shot, one
So,
opportunity.
To what I'm saying
It's
with
everything
that,
you ever wanted. One moment. Would you capture?
you
Or just
literally
let it slip.
the only way
Yo.
to stop those bugs is to actually pay somebody to play video games and test the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then they're oh, this happens here. And then you reproduce it, and then you fix it, and then you keep going on.
I
And
think-
those cycles can go forever.
I think the development teams and the developers and everybody that's working on a game should all pile into an auditorium and watch Grandma's Boy.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Testing is
It's
probably
crucial.
more critical than the development itself, because is bad development worse than no development? In my opinion, yes. If you have a
there's
shitty
not
piece of software, it's worse than not having software at all.
It's not they just need to release the game in a playable state where it's you have these bugs and they're fine. They're not affecting it majorly. I can still play it. I can still move on and be okay, this is fine. This is okay. But a big example of why I wanted to talk about this is there's two. Number one is Concord. It's a It's a shooter that just came out,
What is it?
and it's called Concord.
That's not up there.
Well, I didn't put it up in the notes.
We're not talking about it. It's got to be on the screen.
So it just came out. The Steam numbers came in, and they have less than 1,000 concurrent players. So it's a shooter. It's like a hero shooter, like Apex or Overwatch. So here's the problem.
That was the
It's
problem.
been in development since like 2016. It took 8 years to do it. And of course it's launching. Nobody's going to play it. They're already playing Overwatch, and they're already playing Apex Legends.
Who?
Nobody is going to care about another game. And here's the thing. Apex, free. Overwatch, free. Concord, $40.
Who sat down and said it was a good idea to, one, enter a flooded market, but two, enter a flooded market and take 8 years to do it, and three,
You
charge
should've
money
just
while
scrapped
you're
it.
at, yeah, like that.
You should have just scrapped it, taken the hit, been like, look, because it literally, it's under 1,000 players on Steam.
The visionary that came up with that needed a good friend who could say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you.
It tanked hard. And then there's another one, Star Wars Outlaws. So they came out with different tiers for the game. I think we talked about it on the podcast at some point when they announced it.
You cry different tears in the game?
So they announced the different tiers, and if you paid over $100, you got to play the game 3 days early.
Oh, you'll give me early
So
access.
when you played the early access, that data would transfer when the game released. So you would play from where you stopped or where you couldn't play anymore from the early access. So there was a bug when they updated it when they released that's making people lose their save data. So they basically have to start all over.
Nice.
There was a guy that lost 20 hours of gameplay, and he was like, I don't even want to play this anymore.
Sit there and tell me that wasn't by design.
So it's like,
No,
so you're going to, and then to compensate him for losing that save data, they gave him an in-game trinket and 100 Ubisoft store points. Hey, that's not enough.
that was by design. I got
Figure it out. If you're going to put out a game, make sure that when it releases to the public and you need to update a patch, how about this? Make it so you don't need a patch day one.
Well, here's the thing.
Release the game in a playable state when it's released to the public.
Hey, you're not looking at the camera.
I know.
Every game should have a day one patch.
It shouldn't need a day one patch.
Sure it will. So they probably cut that release a week or two before it even hits whatever the delivery is.
Hey, Ubisoft. Wait a week. Finish it.
Well, my bigger point is
I'm not going to be upset if I have to wait another week.
that's fine, but somebody like Ubisoft who has as much experience as they do should know better about, architecture and...
Here's an in-game trinket and 100 points to spend in our store.
That's why I think that
Thank
was
you.
kind of...
That's just straight kick to the nuts.
It's not a kick to the nuts, but...
It's like tripping the kid in the hallway, and when you look down at him, you're just like...
You give him the hawk too. Spit on that thing. Ubisoft, somebody there knew better.
I was off the Star Wars Outlaws train when I saw all the nonsense going on with that before it released, and I love Star Wars, but I can pass up on this game. It's ridiculous.
It's not Fallen Order. It's not good enough.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, the game development taking too long.
Whoa,
we gotta.
Whoa.
Yes.
taking longer than it used to.
With game development taking longer than it used to, I think that you need to figure out a way to speed it up. Or just come out with less games.
I'm just saying.
Maybe
so
how about that?
sometimes
Stop
it's just,
trying to release 100 games a year.
Well, that's very
Dial it
true.
back. Focus.
Dude, the whole world has to do everything in like 2 seconds. If we don't, we're going to run out of time.
Speaking
I
from
have to answer 10 people on my phone right now, and they haven't even texted me yet.
Speaking from somebody that literally, I come down to my game room and I sit down and I play a game and then I start playing a different game because I'm like, I don't want to dive more deeper into that. I don't English. I don't want to dive. I don't want to dive deeper into this game because I only have like 30 minutes until I have to like be somewhere or start dinner. So I'm just gonna play this different game, and then I get sucked into that. So then when I come down, I'm like, okay, what game do I want to play? I don't know. I don't have time to finish the.
Is there Taco Bell near here? I said near. Don't say Queen Street.
That's the only one.
Damn it!
Why?
I want a burrito. Rob's. When do they close?
I don't know.
They deliver.
No. You could probably DoorDash like Chipotle or
Oh, that's not Rob's.
or Qdoba.
What the hell is that?
You never ate Qdoba?
I did. I didn't know it was around here.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at. Actually,
There's one
no,
in Park City.
No, there's one in the east.
Oh, they close at 8.
Rob's?
Yeah.
You got 30 minutes.
Grab the camera.
It's a weird thing.
Where's my daughter? I'll give her my keys.
Yeah.
I can see that going.
You-
Horrible.
You can text my wife and pay her, and she'll make a run.
Your wife will not go to Rob's for me. I will not ask a pregnant woman to do that.
It's driving in a vehicle.
Yeah, I'm not asking her to do that. She's come on, man. Like, she's probably like doesn't fit right anymore, and
She fits perfectly fine.
her belly don't rub the steering wheel thingy.
No. Nope.
Why did she watch it? Alicia, are you watching?
No, she's not. I don't know what she's doing. Being a loser.
Loser. Move on.
Yeah, but like the whole game development thing, they need to figure that out because they're running into a lot of these issues more often than not. But the thing about the trying to compete with shooters and these free to play games, and then you charge $40 for your game, like you're just dead in the water when you come out. Like you can't be surprised at that.